For the second in a 3-game series between the number 21 Northwestern Wildcats and the Purdue Boilermakers. Big Ten Plus is your host for this matchup. Northwestern looking to win their 10th consecutive game for the second time this year. Meanwhile, Purdue trying to shake up the Big Ten standings and give head coach Maggie Frizzotti her first top 25 win as a head coach. Alex Brophy and Craig Combs will be your guides through today's action. With 52 pitches yesterday. That time it's lined right into the glove of McFadden. An easy first out for Purdue. They went 1-2-3 to start the game yesterday, and now they've got that first out on the board in just 6 pitches.
That's batting order.
That one's going to be lined into shallow left. It'll drop for Dillon and be a base knock to start us off.
Yeah, a beautiful piece of hitting there from the right fielder, able to
swing and a miss, a strikeout for Gossett.
And those are the kind of at-bats that Julia Gossett has to try to replicate. She was able to hang in there.
It went in the favor of Purdue's defense in the very first batter. Kansas Robinson lined out to first. That one's going to be popped up and into the glove of the second baseman, Ashlyn Campbell. So the Boilers strand just her second season in conference play. She'll ground that one to second. Quick throw to first and an easy out number 1 for Northwestern. A good working for an at-bat, but the pitcher comes up with the win in that interaction.
Yeah, and that's been the trend here. This the second of the two hits for the Boilermakers yesterday. So it's interesting that Maggie Frizzotti is switching the lineup and putting her 2 hits together.
She'll pop out to short.
Good teams.
That one's going to be popped in and drop into right. That's a base hit. She's heading for 2 as they are hanging it on. She's going to go for 3. They lost it at the warning track, and that's a triple for Mariah Poehler, her 6th of the season.
Maggie Frizzotti said this week on the Purdue softball podcast, this team is not flashy but efficient, and looking for efficiency but not going to get it there.
She swung and missed. That is strikeout number 16 for Ross. The Boilermaker
get comfortable there in the box.
She's gone looking. 3 pitches, and that's strikeout number 2 for Gossett.
2 in the game, and being able to put those pitches where they're going to fool the hitters.
That'll be ball 4. So Gossett did a good job working her way back into that at-bat, but she'll put a runner on first, 28th. That one popped up high. Gonna die in mid-center field. That'll keep the runner at first and put a second out up on the board here in the top of the second.
Yeah, a nice job there with Gossett being able to pitch around.
The Boilers ended it with a little line drive up to Campbell. Runner going to second, throw coming in, and she'll be safe. That is a stolen base for Donahue. Her 7th of the season. She is perfect.
Seeing it here, number 1 in the Big Ten.
Top 25 in the nation. Number 21 Wildcats visiting West Lafayette. And a punch out. Julia Gossett. Lefty on righty matchup. The batter swings and misses. That's the 10th strikeout of the year for Bailey. She'll give a whisper into Sage Scarmardo's ear as she heads back to the dugout 0 for 1.
Yeah, went for the Purdue Boilermakers. 859 OPS, just 16 RBI this season.
She'll pop that one up, drifting into shallow right field, and it's hauled in by the center fielder.
Been some bad swings, if you will, but the more motivation you're giving Cammie Henry in the circle.
Tyrena Jones takes a swing and a miss. Cammie Henry with 3 punch outs, now up to 15 on the season.
Able to get out of the way.
It's gonna pop up. Drifting into right field. It'll be hauled in by Chloe Banks to put out number 1 up on the board. 4. She'll ground that one, over to short. Pop over to Olivia McFadden, and that's 2 plays coming from McFadden on Robinson.
Yeah, and again, Julia Gossett.
She'll take it up high and get a free base. So she's been to the base in both her plate appearances. Only 1 for 1 as the walk won't go down as a true plate appearance. But it's the 13th.
Try to get the Boilermakers out of this.
That one's going to be popped into right and hauled in by Chloe Banks. A much needed defensive play. Gossett gets out of the inning, and they strand one again in the field again. Her career with DePaul DePaul, excuse me, as that one's popped high into right center. Is it going back at the wall? It's hauled in. No big play for Purdue. It's a fly out.
Yeah, great job.
Time in undergrad.
Well, and you can see why here, why Kate Drohan wanted her. Another strikeout for the Wildcats starter. Her team's playing.
Well, Purdue hasn't really been stellar in the swinging game here. As that ball gets away, Banks is going to head over to second. She'll slide in safe, and that one, we'll see if that one's chalked up as an error or not, but a great bunt initially.
And this one would score a run.
That one's going to be popped into center field and hauled in for out number 3. One left in scoring position. The second time today Purdue has failed to push one across. Scoreless through 3. Purdue heads back to the field. A line shot into right field, hauled in by Banks. The last few plays have gone over to Chloe Banks in right field, and that'll...
Not able to get the batter's call there.
She'll put that one past the pitcher, squeaks into center field, and that's a base hit for Ray. They're true softball fans. That's strike 3. Another one gone looking. Gossett now with 4 punch outs on the day.
And that has to feel really good from Julia Gossett, getting that.
That one is going to be fair, grounded to Jones. It'll take a bounce over at first, and it gets away from McFadden. That's going to push Ray to third. She's sliding in, and she is safe. Ray took advantage. Only with 3 hits this year. No RBI. That one inside, she's gone looking. Make it 5 for Gossett. She gets out of a pinch. Boilers can just pop out at you. That one's a grounder. Over to second. Flip to first. Out number 1.
Yeah, nice job there from Henry to put the ball in a nice spot, and Polar wasn't able to extend that one into the outfield as she did on the previous at bat.
See Maggie Frizzotti, head coach in her first year with Purdue. Served as an assistant coach running the defense the last few years. Ryan Ross gone swinging for a second time. 2 RBI this season. That squeaks under the glove of the first baseman. They crept in, and that runner Bailey goes to third. That ball gets away. They're going to keep her, though, as the dugout fence kept it near to the play. That one smacked, and it's fair. It's going to send in Bailey. Scarmardo rounding third, and that'll halt Jones. A 2 RBI double, and Purdue's on top.
Well, momentum was in the lap of the Wildcats and Henry, but a beautiful swing right there down the third base line. And again, Alex clearing the bags, getting the 2 runs across. A 2 RBI double with 2 outs for the Boilermakers. And now the Boilermakers, for the first time this...
That one's going to be popped up, drifting into right field. It'll be hauled in by Nader. And the damage is done. Purdue with the lead after a big play from Tyrena Jones, the shortstop. 5 as an average. She slugs 321, and it'll drop. That's going to be a big play to start off the inning for Northwestern. They're trying to pull a triple of their own, and they get it. Both teams pull 3.
Yeah, and Lindsay with a pitch 4 innings, only giving up 3 hits, 5 strikeouts.
But now a roller into center field, and an RBI single puts Northwestern on the board. That lead is now cut to 1. 5 innings of work drifted away by Northwestern's efficient offense here, starting to find a spark.
Well, and the way you have to look at it, if you're the Purdue Boilermakers, is the hardest.
That'll be a grounder to Campbell. They'll try to turn 2. They get her at second. No chance to turn 2, so a fielder's choice will put the first out on the board.
Well, and that's a great...
She'll ground that one to Jones. They'll flip it to second. Now there's a chance to turn 2. The runner is safe at first. So a couple fielder's choice have put up 2 outs. And they walk her. Katie with her first walk of the day, 16th of the season. That's now the 3rd batter walked by Gossett today. It's a little bit intimidating, trying to hang on to that lead. That one's a grounder squeaking through. They'll turn it over to second and end the inning. Purdue gets out of a bind, but the Wildcats are on the board. I got a feeling they're going to be knocking on the door, working with a 1-1 at the plate. She'll pop that one up. There is a chance for a play, and it's hauled in by the second baseman, Kansas Robinson.
Yeah, Kansas Robinson getting that.
32 runs scored and 15 runs driven in. That one's going to stay fair. She's going to make it all the way to first. She was already at the base before they even scooped that ball up.
If I was the Purdue Boilermakers, I'd just go into the plate and bunt every time. A couple of their hits today have just been bunts.
Now a grounder. That ball is going to be put at second, and Chloe Banks will head back to the dugout. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th, but a runner at first. They're going to say they turned a double play.
I think they're going to say there was interference on the base. They're going to say that the runner slid into second and touched the second baseman or the player trying to make the double play. You can slide near the bag, but you can't make contact. And we take a look here as Banks slides into second. She does make contact. Some light contact, though. It does seem like...
That seemed more like the second baseman stepping off the bag than it was contact from Banks. But regardless, they're going to say they get the out. So we're going to the 6th inning. 2-1 is still the score. Purdue heads to the field. A little blooper. Campbell hauls it in. 1 batter retired.
And that has to feel really good for Julia Gossett to be able to get a hit.
That ball blooped again into the infield. Tyrena Jones, the shortstop, hauls it in. 2 batters retired.
Yeah, she had the home run swing on there.
They did not expect to see her go this long today. That one's going long. It's going to die in the center field for out number 3. Purdue keeps Northwestern off the board. Final stretch of this ball game. That one is going to be lined into left. It'll drop fair. Polar will pump the brakes and stay at first. They know she's got wheels, so they halt her. She'll pop it in the air, and the Northwestern defense will retire her for out number 1.
And even though Ross popped out there, a routine catch for the outfield of Northwestern in designated player situations.
She'll ground that one up to right. Polar heading to third, and Bailey will pump the brakes at first. So a base hit from Bailey puts that runner deep into scoring position, and now Purdue got the chance to put on some and took second, and Ray let her do it. 2 deep in scoring position. That one flown into center field. Scarmardo is out, and there is no chance for a sacrifice fly as Polar is halted at third. Now 2 outs. Jones gone looking. What a way to get out of the inning. Ashley Miller showing you why she's one of the best pitchers. Not plead her case to appeal that strike. 3-1. Ball 4. Tying run aboard here in the top of the 7th. Purdue still the home team, so that bunt laid down. Klochik will flip it to first. They retire that first batter, but that tying run now moves into scoring position. That one's going to be popped up, drifting into foul territory. Chloe Banks will haul it in for out number 2, but now Robinson at third.
Well, and that's a smart play, though, in that outside pitch. I would try to work that inside corner and get the hitter jammed.
That one popped up high. It's got some height, but it doesn't have the distance. Boilermakers are going to hang on and win it 2-1. A great day hitting for Purdue, 292. And they hit 4 for 9 with 2 outs, pushing runners across. A 2 RBI double from Tyrena Jones really set it up, and Purdue gets their first win over the Wildcats since May 8th of 2021.
Yeah, and there's just something about a team that wears pinstripes, and today, Alex, those pinstripes were golden, and the Boilermakers were golden themselves, getting a huge conference victory over the gatekeepers in the Northwestern Wildcats.
Well, they keep Northwestern from that 10th consecutive win, and they also keep their hopes alive for a 4th consecutive series victory